Let me know, y'all, cause it ain't no more else. That's the only question I got. Why do you think Melly was doing all this? I just sat up here and read you everything from top to bottom of how they saw on camera this man basically sitting in the kite. I just say it like that. To get a word outside of jail to his girlfriend and his girlfriend mama and his homeboy to let them know not to show up by way of materialistic shit. Telling Mariah, stay in the Maybach. That's, again, I'm not giving my opinion. What you think that means? Melly and Borland both were indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder on September 7, 2019. Since 2019, we've seen a lot of things happen in this case. Evidence getting thrown out, people lie on the stand under oath. The family on both sides of this situation, meaning the victim's family and the suspect's family, who is Melly, haven't been seeing eye to eye. If you've been watching any of my content, I talk a lot about the family and I speak strong when it comes to Juvie's father, that's Spoon. And I'm gonna tell you why I speak so strong when it comes to Spoon, because in my heart, I feel like Spoon may not know all the details in the case all the way to the T, but one thing he do know in his heart, or he feel in his heart, and he's willing to put his life on it, is that Melly murdered his son and Sack that night they left the studio. But today I'm gonna talk about something different. I'm gonna do something different. I'm not gonna say what I feel. I'm not gonna talk about what the family feel. I'm gonna break all this information down that just came out and let y'all say how y'all feel in this situation. Because I don't want to seem family bias in my content. I want justice. But I want justice the right way. What's the right way, Trey? The right way would be proving to the jurors that Melly is 100% guilty without reasonable doubt. It's gonna be a long video, and I promise you, we're gonna get through it. And if you're new to the channel, save your like to the end. I don't want it unless I'm earning it. I'm just being real. Save it to the end. Melly is set to begin trial in his witness tampering case on January of 2026. That's a little over a month from now. So we're about to start seeing a lot of layers get peeled back when it comes to the murder of Sack and Juvie. But today I'm gonna talk about these charges and how they came about, because according to the paperwork, this situation took place almost 800 days ago as of today, between the months of March and August of 2023. So y'all keep that in mind. And at the time, there were more than 60 phone calls made between Bortland and an inmate by the name of Terrence Mathis. Terrence Mathis had been locked up in Broward County since August of 2018, and at some point, he was used by Melly to help communicate with people outside of Broward County Jail, including Bortland. So this would be around the time that Bortland was on house arrest. Deputy David Alvarez of Broward County Sheriff's main office will review video from August 2023. And according to the paperwork, main jail camera unit 5C, unit 2, starting at 17:11 hours, ending at 17:30.40, shows Melly at 17:11:20 hours speaking to an inmate from cell 5C2-10 who is in the day room for his time out. And during the conversation, it says that Melly can be seen motioning towards another unit, which is unit 5C3, and the inmate he is talking to then points towards the same unit to confirm that basically Melly's trying to get his attention. At 17:11:23, Demons tosses a letter that appears to be a note assigned to the cell door of 5C2-9. 17:11:38, the same inmate from 5C2-10 grabs the note off the floor in front of cell 5C2-9. 17:27, the same inmate from 5C2-10 tosses multiple notes under the door that leads to unit 5C3 day room from the day room unit of 5C2. 17:27, Demons appears to be instructing the inmate from cell 5C2-10 to call someone for him from the adjacent unit 5C3 and the inmate complies. At 1727, the same inmate picks up the note and is seen speaking to Melly about it. Melly then instructs him to toss it back to the adjacent unit 5C3, but it appears that one of the letters didn't make it to 5C3. So what it sounds like to me is Melly trying to pass some notes to a guy who can get in contact with some people outside for him, but they in jail. So some of the stuff that he's saying and some of the stuff that he's doing is incriminating. So it's a certain type of way, and it's a coded language that they trying to use through the doors to get Melly notes slid down to the bottom. I think to this Terrence dude, 5C Unit 3 at 1727, 10 hours, you start to see the notes appear on the camera from a view being sent from the adjacent day room 5C2. Then at 1727, 24, you can see an inmate begin to kick the letters at the bottom of the unit. Once they hit the bottom landing, the same inmate continues kicking the letters towards the shower in the area of cell 8. 1727, an inmate can be seen looking under the door that enters unit 5C2. 1727, the notes appear in camera view and you can see an inmate retrieve it by kicking it down the bottom landing. 1728, both inmates who collected the notes begin to approach who appears to be inmate Howard James and hands them over to him. 1735, you can see Howard in the camera view reading the letters and walks towards the phone, reading them. 1737, Howard attempts to make a call. 1738, Howard pulls notes out of the chase pocket. 1836, he's seen on the phone. 1838, he's still on the phone. And at 1845, he hangs up. They did a review on the calls Howard made, and in reviewing it, it shows he made calls to Aaron Simmons, Barnett, and Cortland Henry. He made 2 calls and he was able to get through. One call he made to Borland about a cash app, and he just flat out said no. That was Borland. Borland said no. Another call he made, he said he was calling on behalf of her husband and wanted her to make a 3-way call to a person named Travis, and he verifies the last 4 digits of the number ending in 2997. Now, if I ain't mistaken, Travis is track, 100K track. Y'all following me right? Because I know I'm going real fast. And if you stayed all the way to this point right here, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, because it's finna get crazy. September 1st, 2023, it was a search done on Terrence's cell. And what they found was a phone book of coded names for certain people like Bortland, Melly, his girlfriend, Track, and a few other people. Now, I'm gonna just pause right here for a minute because remember, all this was going on in 2023 between the months of March and August. So this would have been the same time that Bortland was on house arrest. So in Melly's mind, he know since Melly, I'm gonna tell you how Melly thinking. He know that since Bortland is out on the street and Bortland is on house arrest, he can be the voice. He can get through to people and spread the word. That's what he's trying to do. But I feel like Borland at this point was trying to think a little smart and be his own man. He just ain't know how to say it. And I'm gonna tell you why I said that, because reading the paperwork, it feel like to me at times Borland wanted to be done with this nonsense. It's Melly and his people that keep on just adding insult to injury, just making stuff worse. So if that's the case, I'm gonna be honest, I'll give my opinion on that. I ain't mad at that. That's just me. And you will see why I said that in a minute if y'all just keep on following me. April 19th, 2023 at 19:11 hours, Mathis made a phone call to Borland and starts relaying messages to individuals thanking them for showing up to support him in court. This is Melly basically telling Borland, tell my people, tell my family, I appreciate the support. But here's what stuff get crazy, because Mathis then sends another message to Borland, but this message says, tell blank person, make sure she hood. Tell her keep vibing in the Maybach like she doing, but don't pop out because this shit almost over. I heard she's supposed to be pulling up, probably cap, but tell her. Henry then responds and says, man, no man, tell that man shut the fuck up. Tell him stop talking about that. Mathis then says, tell her fall bite. I ain't put this wild shit, fall bite. Borland then goes, I ain't talking about that no more. Move on to the next one. Y'all hold on to y'all seats because this where this shit finna get real juicy. Mathis said, hold on, I gotta read the whole card to you. Like basically telling Borland before you snap out, just hold on, just chill out for a little second. This man said, tell her keep doing what she doing, and I miss her so much. I'm gonna eat her like some ice cream when I touch down. Basically, a call between Borland and Taryn trying to give him direction on how to do things on the street for Melly. And make sure Mariah ain't nowhere near the courthouse trying to pull off nothing. Like, just stay where you at, stay in the Maybach. Don't come nowhere over here. I heard you supposed to be pulling up. This Melly, I heard you supposed to be pulling up. But just stay where you at. Just stay in the Maybach, stay chilling and balling because this shit almost over with. And I miss you so much when I get home. Ooh, Borland, another thing, man. It's crazy because Borland uncomfortable as a motherfucker because this man on house arrest. And y'all think I'm finna sit up here and talk about this bullshit on the recorded call? You niggas is batshit crazy. if he ain't with like up until this point, it seemed like he ain't with no bullshit at all. And shit, I don't blame because they bullshitting on these jail calls, man. They I feel you, boy. This is bullshit. He turned around and he gonna say that tell him she good, she vibing in the Maybach, and I don't know where he getting the info from on the inside, but just chill out because she good. That's him telling Matthew to let Melly know that he got everything under control, basically. Tuesday, April 18, 2023, Consul for Melly and ASA Christian Bradley, I think I said that right, exchanged emails about getting a deposition for Mariah. In the paperwork, it says that she is commonly called Blank by the defendant Blank. But I'm gonna fill it in for him. If I'm right, I think they saying Mariah had a coded nickname, and that's the name Melly would call her sometimes. I think that's what they saying. And while I'm looking over this, I think that's the name. The name that he be calling her is something similar to Rihanna. Yeah, I think. They were supposed to do a deposition on May 5th, 2023 as evidenced by the May 1st, 2023 filing by Consul for Melly, but the deposition never took place and Mariah never showed up. The paperwork goes to say that during the course of the conversation, Borland tells the messenger to slow down and made him repeat certain messages. See right here in the paperwork where it goes to say that during the course of the conversation, Borland tells the messenger to slow down and made him repeat certain messages, describe certain emojis, and even spell words a particular way. On April 24th, 2023, Melly again references his girl by calling her ASAP Rocky's baby mama. I just said that. I just said that Rihanna. Popular recording artist, they talking about Rihanna Blank, has been in a relationship with known artist ASAP Rocky. I bet he thought when he was doing all this dumb shit, and he was Michael Jackson smooth. The conversation this time begins with a message directed to Jamie. You got it blanked out, but I think that's his mom. The defendant's mother basically telling her not to cooperate with law enforcement in regards to the threat she reported to Consul for Melly and John Murphy. And she declined to participate in the investigation regarding the supposed threats that were made to her. I wonder why. And lack of cooperation was discussed again in court on April 24th and again on the 23rd of 2023, basically just going over what they said again about Borland keeping Mariah quiet in the making. Now this is where Borland, why I say he started to kind of bullshit a little bit, because mind you, Borland is on house arrest at his house in Miami, so the only time he can leave his house is to attend religious services. So I guess that would mean, like go to church. But it say that some messages was sent from a electronic communication device, and at the time he made comments like he can't type fast enough to keep up with the messages that were being relayed. The detective, Gary Steele, had a GPS coordinate on the ankle monitor that Borland was wearing from April 19th, the 24th, and the 25th of 2023. And during those days at the listed residence is when all these calls were made to Mathis. But he had to been using some other type of electronic device though. So they think that he had another phone in the house. He might have had a tablet, but it was some other way he was communicating with this dude to go back and forth with Melly. I feel like that's where he started bullshitting it. Like I said in the beginning, I ain't giving too much of my opinion, but how Borland was trying to just stay out of it, he should have continued to stay out of it. But you look like you kind of with the shit the way that you're moving a little bit. And what it looked like is he started having a conversation with Mathis on some contraband type stuff. Now, you already talking in code, you witness tampering. And you sitting up here on the phone in your house on the ankle monitor talking about smuggling drugs in the jail. Whew, damn. It say in the conversation, Mathis asked Henry, so what he wants you to do? Henry responds, when I asked him if I found out how many bottles it take for sheep. Mathis says, I got that part. I'm talking about his money ain't come. And Henry responds and say, just tell him it ain't come on the 15th like it's supposed to, just waiting on it. All right, that's it. Now, this is what Henry started bullshitting. This is what Borland started bullshitting. Make sure you tell him it's $300 a pop, the bottles. To ones who don't know what he talking about, that's drugs, people. You read right here, say the detective that was investigating the case know that Borland and Mathis were talking about smuggling contraband into the jail. And how they do it sometimes is by sending paper that has been soaked or sprayed with narcotics in liquid form. So there's like a bunch of damn opioids, K2, weed, fatty wop. What, like, you see it in the paper. It's saying it right here. I don't know them big words. And it looked like the investigators had an interview with a gang member who confirmed that Melly was controlling and facilitating the introduction and distribution of narcotic lace paper in the jail. And this man said in 2 months, he purchased 2 lace papers from Melly. So you got Melly in jail sending coded messages through inmates to people outside of the jail. Borland is one of the people who he trying to contact through Mathis. And also, he trying to contact Mariah's mom through James Howard, if I ain't mistaken. Now, I'm going to let y'all sit on this. I'm going to let y'all have this because, like I said earlier, I'm not giving too much of my opinion in this. I'm going to just let y'all use y'all brain on this one. Why do you think Melly was doing all of this shit? And that's all I'm going to say. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below. Let me know what y'all, because it ain't no more else. That's the only question I got. Why do you think Melly was doing all this? I just sat up here and read you everything from top to bottom of how they saw on camera this man basically sitting in the kite. I just say it like that. To get a word outside of jail to his girlfriend and his girlfriend mama and his homeboy to let them know not to show up by way of materialistic shit. Telling Mariah, stay in the Maybach. That's, again, I'm not giving my opinion. What you think that mean, y'all? What y'all think that mean? I ain't giving my opinion on this. Because like I say, I don't want to seem like I'm just trying to, he did it. That's why I say, what do you think Melly was doing all this for? Why do you think he told her to stay rocking in the Maybach? This stuff almost over with. I heard you supposed to be showing up to court. That's probably kept. If you want, now some people might say this, because I just saw this in another video. Some people might go, well, if that's the case, if he did say that to her and told her not to show up, that's him protecting his girl. He don't want his family member there. Man, your own mama there. You ain't married to this girl. This somebody that did just teenage love affair type shit. If you ask me, you don't want her to show. Again, I'm not voicing my opinion. Why do you think, y'all? Why do y'all think he didn't want her to show up? Why you think he was so hell bent on getting in contact with Portland to make sure these people don't show up? I'm not saying too much. I just wanted to give y'all the facts in this one. So you can go find that paperwork how I found it. Y'all, just and go read through that, stem through that. You'll see the whole time step. And hopefully when this trial begins, we actually be able to see this on camera, like the live footage, and don't have to just visualize this in our mind. Because I just read a whole lot of timestamp that probably just confused a lot of people and threw them off. But if you were following and kept up with it, I appreciate that. Because the only thing that was a lot of timestamp. It seemed like I was reading, but that's in the span of probably like 15, 20, 30 minutes in a couple of days, or just jail calls that were being made on behalf of Melly to get in contact with people outside of jail to and let them know certain things in coded language. Now, again, I'm gonna ask again, why do you think Melly was doing all that? An innocent man, by the way. Y'all be easy.